Thank you so much for coming today, for organising Sunday Assembly. How did you start out Sunday Assembly? What was important about it to you?
Well, what was important about it to me was the fact that, I just quite frequently and very powerfully feel totally 100% overwhelmed at the fact that I'm alive. And to an embarrassing amount, that I just think it is such a wonderful thing that this bunch of atoms should somehow be constituted into consciousness for a little bit, that I am really transported by that thought. And that's the thing that I really wanted to celebrate, and I suppose that's, the sort of drive behind it. And about 6 or 7 years ago, I was leaving a Christmas Carol concert, and I thought, you know what? There's so much about this that I really like. There's the songs, there's the community, there's the coming together. It's just a shame that in the middle there's something which I didn't agree with. And I was like, but there's something that I do want to celebrate, and that is life.
So for you, is this very much a celebration?
Yes, I think that, in fact, the talk which we had there was very interesting in why we celebrate, because if you want people to, if you want to do something in life, the optimism is apparently one of the key things for it. So we celebrate life because, then you can suddenly realise that most of the complaints you have compared to what you've already got are really as nothing.
Fantastic. Today you had the first one in Leicester, and it had new elements to it. It sounds like new ideas. What are maybe the 3 things that have surprised you about Sunday Assemblies you've seen?
The 3 things that have surprised me about new Sunday Assemblies, are they? It's when you go and see something which you just wouldn't have thought about, such as today when the Amajit singing at the end. That was really beautiful, just to come out of the silence. It made me realise that whilst Pippa and I come from a Christian background, it could be picked up in a lot of other places and being given local twists. Then, that's a really good question. What are the things that surprised me? Dear me, you flummoxed me there.
Were you surprised by the number of people who responded?
Well, I suppose. Okay. So I was thinking about actually at different Sunday assemblies where they've got
too, but
oh yeah. Well, the things which have surprised me overall is just the sheer amount of response to it, that we didn't realise that we were tapping into something that was so primal and had been so neglected. This need which had been unmet, and now we're discovering that with celebration, that you can bring people together. You can bring people together to, and we hope, create some really good things in the world.
And that's, I think one of my questions is, what do you picture in a year, in 10 years? What sorts of things do you hope will be created out of Sunday Assembly?
Well, in 10 years' time. So it's really tough to extrapolate from exponential growth, because we started with 0 at the start of last year, and now there are 28. It looks like there's going to be 100 at the start of next year. So in 2 years' time, does it mean that there's going to be 400 or 200 or 600, and in 10 years' time, is it going to be 1,000 or 10? It's really tough to know. But one thing that we do know is that if you get people together in congregations, and amazing things happen. People who go to churches, studies have shown, live longer, healthier, they're wealthier, they help more in the community, and they give more to charity. It's amazing what happens when you unleash the sort of group feeling in people. I think in this world nowadays, everyone feels that they're part of a rat race, each person against the other, and when you look around and you go, actually, we're all humans trying to do this together, then wonderful things can happen.
And have you seen, in London over the last year, you've gotten a chance for a congregation to form, for it to sort of grow, change. Are there things that you've seen come out of that? You go, that's a thing we think is coming out of Sunday Assembly that we expect from it.
Well, one thing we have, the great things in London is there's genuine community. You'll go, so Jerry did this, and everyone will go, yes. And you realise, hi there, Gush. Oh, there's a man wandering and he's got a checkbook in his hand. Yeah. What's happening here? This is where...
I'm trying to find another signature on
this is... Oh, yeah, right. This is where all the...
It's one of those things, you know...
This is where all the dodgy deals get done. Who's paying off who, Gush?
Hey. You don't want to know.
Okay, look, I've got my fingers blocked. That's it. And so... Well, it's just the community that people are helping, and then there's people doing community action stuff, and we're seeing all these programs build and evolve, and it's so much which is happening that I should get better expressing it, but instead what I do is I just find it all building up inside me until the most eloquent thing I can say is it's all too much. I'll be speaking to people and I go, this is my favourite part of the Sunday Assembly after we've just done an amazing service, and you see everyone smiling and just leaving with a spray, and then everyone's having tea and cake and meeting each other. I go then and then I'll be like, and this is why we really do it. And then we've got a small group where people are dealing with problems in their lives, and you think, this is what it's all, oh no, it's about this, and it's just, there's such a plethora of things that I get ineloquent with joy.
That's so exciting. So, and are there particular moments that you can remember that move you? That sharing emotion together is important.
Yeah, well, today actually it was really wonderful when Hamajit started singing, because it's great when you just really connect with the bigger picture, because even though this is it's not even my dreams, because I didn't even dream they could happen, so it's beyond that, and you can get caught up, everyone, I think, we can all get caught up in the admin of our lives, and very rarely take time to have that step back. And both the reassuring thing is that I, as someone whose entire job is to try to help people celebrate their life and make the most of it, get caught in that just as much as anyone else. And it's those moments when you go, oh, someone's going, this has changed my life. This has given me this has given me that. It's truly wonderful.
And it was your idea from the start, shared with other people. Do you feel like you're getting personally from it? Almost what you hoped for? Is it working the way you...
Oh, yes. It's getting quite... I suppose it's allowed me to... the parts where this came from, where I would every now and again just connect with that real sense of wonder about being alive. And it comes slightly from the fact my mum died when I was very young, so I think about life and death, and it got all caught up in emotion, and then somehow in the big tumble dryer, all the colours ran, and instead of coming out a brown mess, just came out with, oh god, so that's now she's gone and died, came out with a rainbow. So something amazing happened, and I just wanted to, all my stand-up shows have been about trying to convey that feeling, and so now this has just allowed me to sort of develop it even more, to think about it even more. So I'll be walking down the street and I'll just be transported, it'll be transcendent. So just in a sheer hedonistic enjoying the moment feeling, yes, it's great. But then on a more specific thing, the thing which I've always found really tough is that I'm quite a compulsive person and find a lot of stuff difficult, because I like to do things which are nice and I don't like to do things which are not nice, which is really bad for a human, because delaying gratification is one of the number one things which leads to success in life, and that I can't do. So before this, I've been trying to fix myself for my whole life, going, I want to do this, but I do this. I need to do that, but I do that. And so I went to a life coach about 3 years ago, and it was useful-ish, but I'd be sitting next to him. I go, you're not telling me anything I don't know, but the useful thing is coming to see you and getting told it. And I started to think that, in fact, if there was a group of people getting together, a small group, then it'd be great. You could say what you want to do, and then people would support you, and they'd just tell you the stuff you knew you wanted to do, and then you could check in the next week. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, we could, if I ever got round to doing a Sunday Assembly, we could have that. And I thought of it as, imagine if you've got Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, this would be Life Anonymous, just for life. And so I had that idea, and then I started that specific thing about helping people do stuff this year. So that's actually helped me on the stuff that I'm bad at, and there's people in the group who are sticking to resolutions and making life changes and supporting each other, and then all of them have found it so useful that they then want to start off other versions of it, and that's incredible. And I always feel bad telling people that some of the reason I'm doing this is for me, but because I think it comes from the fact that it's for me, but also I have a feeling that other people would like it and it would help them. So that's my excuse for the selfishness part. And if I found it useful, then other people might too. And it's just really amazing to see that start happening. And then if you imagine, you know, what happens when there's 500 people here in Leicester? What happens when there's 10,000? Well, there's really, then in 10 years' time, amazing things could have happened.
Great. Oh, thank you so much.
An absolute pleasure, Elizabeth. It's been really good. And Ambrose as well. You cameramen never get a look in. But look, thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's really so wonderful here today.
It really is, and it's wonderful that some of that bit about doing interviews. And then I want to have the conversation. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Delayed gratification. And
It's that thing. And also, do you know that marshmallow test they did with
kids? And
that goes
20 years later, the ones who can look at it and not eat it are more successful.
Yeah, and I am the kid who not only ate those marshmallows, but found where the marshmallows were hidden and had those marshmallows and got in trouble for it, but then did it again. Like I broke into what I thought was a sweet cupboard when I was a child. I had to climb up in the middle of the night and ate stock cubes. Took chocolate sauce and hid it around the house and then huffed it like a sort of, a mini glucose-aholic. You know, these are the things which, I mean, you don't even want to see me at a festival. Not saying no to much. So, yes, and it's the fact that there's lots of people like that, and it's unfair that just because at age 5 this so happened, which is as lucky as being able to run quickly, that your life should be worse. But the most exciting thing about this is a realization I had recently, and if you are the person who ate the marshmallows, then this is exciting, because in the same way that you are drawn to things that are nice and that feel good, and that if you're able to do them, you do them, you know, in prison or on the streets, who are like, then it becomes something really powerful and can change lives, and that is a big prize. Yeah. Very exciting. Anyway, look,
Take care.
I will see if